They say your first heartbreak is unforgettable. Mine happened in front of the entire school. The moment she stood up in class, holding a crumpled piece of lined paper, I knew something was wrong. Her smile wasn't kinde, was cruel. Her eyes sparkled, not with joy, but with anticipation like a lion about to rip into its prey. And I was the prey. "This," she announced, waving the paper like a trophy, "is what he wrote to me." Everyone turned toward me. Laughter echoed off the walls before she even began reading. I wanted the earth to open up and swallow me whole. My chest burned, ears ringing, throat dry. I hadn't said a word and yet I was already sentenced. Then she read it, line by line, word by word. Every raw, stupid, vulnerable line I had written. Every hope. Every feeling. Every heartbeat spelled out for the world to see. They laughed louder. Some covered their mouths. Others didn't bother. I clenched my fists under the desk. Not because she exposed my feelings, but because she had no idea that letter wasn't even meant for her. She humiliated me for something I never gave her. Claimed a confession that wasn't hers to read. And in doing so, she exposed something far deeper. Not my love, but her lies. And that day, while everyone laughed at me, I made a silent promise. This wouldn't be the end of the story. Not by a long shot. My name's Ion. 17, average in just about everything: grades, looks, height, life. If there was a list of people most likely to be forgotten after high school, I'd be right at the top. I wasn't one of the popular guys. Didn't play football, didn't party, didn't have a massive Instagram following. What I did have was a quiet desk in the back row, a tattered sketchbook I carried everywhere, and one friend who made this dull world bearable: Zoya. Zoya and I? We were like oxygen in lungs. We didn't need to talk all the time to know what the other was thinking. She wasn't loud or flashy. In fact, most people didn't even notice her. But I did. She'd sit beside me during lunch, nibbling on her sandwich, sketching in the margins of her notebook. She had this quiet fire about her, like she was always dreaming of something bigger than school walls. Her hair always smelled like coconut oil and old paperbacks. And when she laughed, really laughed, it made the rest of the world feel far away. Of course, no one ever asked if I liked her. Why would they? They were too busy staring at Maya. Maya was the kind of girl movies are written about. The school beauty. The one whose every post got thousands of likes before the bell even rang. Her hair? Perfect. Nails? Always done. Smile? Deadly. But Maya wasn't just pretty. She was powerful. She ran the school like it was her empire. Teachers adored her, students envied her, and boys worshipped her from a distance. I never cared much for her. I didn't hate her. I just didn't live in the same universe. While she floated on clouds of praise and perfume, I was just a speck in the background, quietly drawing galaxies that never included her. The only time Maya and I had ever spoken was when she asked to borrow Panand. Even then, she never gave it back. So imagine my confusion, my utter disbelief, when she stood in front of the class holding my love letter, claiming it was for her, claiming I had confessed my undying love to the goddess of the school. That moment shattered something in me, not because I was embarrassed, but because the truth was so much worse. The letter she read aloud, the one with all the raw feelings and fragile words, was meant for Zoya. Zoya, my best friend. Zoya, who disappeared that same afternoon and stopped replying to my messages. And Maya, who had no reason to read something that wasn't hers, had suddenly taken everything away. But if she thought I would disappear, quietly she didn't know me at all. It all started with a missing notebook. Not just any notebook, my notebook. The one I poured everything into. Scribbles, poems, half-finished letters, sketches of Zoya when she wasn't looking. Every page held a part of me I never meant for anyone else to see. I'd left it in the art room after class, just for 5 minutes. When I came back, it was gone. I tore through shelves, checked under desks, asked around. Nothing. I didn't panic yet, at least not at first. I just figured maybe I left it somewhere else. but a strange chill had settled in my chest, like something was off. Wrong. The next day, everything felt weird. People were looking at me differently. Whispers followed me through the hallways. Even the juniors, who usually didn't know I existed, gave me sly glances like they were in on a joke I didn't understand. And then it happened. Fourth period, English class. Ms. Hamida was late, and the room was buzzing with chatter. I was sketching mindlessly on the edge of my desk when a sudden hush fell over the class. I looked up. Maya was standing at the front, a folded paper in her hand, her lips twisted in that smug little smirk she wore like lip gloss. "I found something poetic," she said dramatically, turning to the class like she was on stage. "I think the school deserves to hear it." Before I could react, she began to read. My words. My letter. "Dear you," she started, mocking my handwriting. "I know you'll never see yourself the way I see you." Laughter burst out instantly, but her voice kept going. She read every line, every metaphor, every trembling word I'd written for Zoya. I sat there frozen, my voice caught in my throat. My legs wouldn't move. My heart slammed against my ribs like it wanted out. They all thought it was for Maya, and why wouldn't they? She made sure of it. She held the letter like a prize, turned it into a public comedy show, dragging my name into a spotlight I never wanted. But the worst part? Zoya wasn't in the room. I waited the rest of the day to see her, checked our usual hangouts, messaged her again. And again. No reply. By evening, her phone was off. Her mom said she had a fever and wouldn't be coming to school for a few days. But I knew Zoya. Even when she was sick, she'd at least send a smiley or a dot or something. Not this time. And that's when something began to claw at the back of my mind. Maya didn't just find that notebook. She stole it. And she didn't just read that letter. She used it to humiliate me, sure, but maybe also to erase something else. Something real. And now, Zoya was gone. I kept refreshing the chat. Last seen, 2 days ago. Still no reply. "Zoya, just tell me you're okay," I whispered into the empty blue glow of my phone. I had sent 6 texts, all unread. I didn't want to come off as clingy, but silence was worse. It wasn't like her. Zoya would never ignore me not unless something was really wrong. But what was I supposed to say? "Hey, I'm sorry the entire class thinks I confessed to someone else." Or maybe, "Sorry. The most popular girl in school used my words meant only for Yua's her personal comedy routine." No version of that sounded okay. That night, I sat in my room with the notebook scraps I managed to recover from the art room trash bin. Maya had only read 1 letter. But she had torn out more. Poems, sketches, a drawing of Zoya's hand resting on her notebook that I had drawn during lunch one day, labeled, "My Calm in Chaos." Gone. My heart sank deeper with each torn edge I found. I stared at the blank space in the notebook like it could talk, like it could explain how something so personal ended up in Maya's hands. And that's when the questions began. Did she steal it herself? Did she go into the art room, flip through my pages, and think, "This'll be fun to ruin him with"? Or worse, did someone give it to her? Someone who knew what was in it. Someone who knew it wasn't meant for her. A chill crawled up my spine. Was this just a prank to her? Was I just a joke? At school, Maya smiled at me like we shared some private game. A smirk in the hallway. A wink in the canteen. Her friends giggled when I walked past, whispering things they wanted me to hear. Love let her die. Desperate much? And yet she never apologized. Never even addressed what she did. It was like she expected me to just accept it. But the worst part was, I started to doubt myself. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I was stupid to write something like that and not keep it safe. Maybe I shouldn't have written it at all. Maybe I read too much into Zoya's smiles, her late-night voice notes, the way her head tilted when she looked at me. Maybe I was always just a friend. And Maya? Maybe she didn't know the letter wasn't for her. But that thought didn't hold up. Not for long. Because one day, in the corridor, I finally stopped running from the question that had been haunting me. I walked right up to Maya. She was surrounded by her usual crowd, laughing about something. I didn't care. "Why'd you do it?" I asked, staring her dead in the eyes. Her friends went quiet. She raised an eyebrow. "Do what? You read my letter. You knew it wasn't meant for you." She smiled. Not surprised. Not guilty. Just entertained. "Did I?" she said, pretending to think. "It didn't have a name on it, did it?" My jaw clenched. "You knew it wasn't for you." She leaned in, lowering her voice. "Maybe, maybe not. But it worked, didn't it?" "Worked? What do you mean?" She patted my cheek like I was a child. "You should be thanking me. You're famous now." And just like that, she turned and walked away, laughing with her entourage like I was nothing more than background noise. But she said something else as she walked off, just loud enough for me to hear. "Maybe next time write her name down. Saves a lot of confusion." It hit me then. She didn't just want to embarrass me. She wanted to hurt Zoya. The why. What had Zoya ever done to her? My stomach twisted as a thought surfaced, one I didn't want to believe, but couldn't ignore anymore. This wasn't random. This was personal. But what kind of secret was buried deep enough for Maya to go to these lengths? Why target a quiet girl like Zoya through me? And why did Zoya vanish the moment it happened? 3 days passed. No reply. No posts. No status updates. Zoya had disappeared like she never existed. That Friday, I couldn't take it anymore. I skipped my last 2 classes and went straight to her house. Her mother opened the door, her eyes puffy and tired. "Is Zoya okay?" I asked, trying to keep the panic out of my voice. She hesitated. "She's resting," she said carefully. "She hasn't been well. She's not seeing anyone." I nodded, but something didn't sit right. "Can I just leave something for her?" I pulled out a folded page of letter I'd rewritten, the one Maya destroyed. Her mom glanced behind her like she was checking for someone. Then, quietly, she took it. "I'll try," she said. But as I turned to leave, I caught something movement at the window upstairs. Zoya's curtain had fluttered slightly, like someone had been watching. I stood frozen on the pavement. She was home. Why didn't she come out? Why didn't she say anything? That night, I sat in the dark, mind spinning. Overthinking everything. What if Maya had said something to her? What if Zoya believed the letter was for Maya? What if she thought I was just playing her? It was too much. I had to know, so I did something desperate. I logged into an old Instagram account I hadn't used in months and created a fake profile. Just a random girl's face I pulled from a meme page. And I followed Maya. She accepted instantly, and then I messaged her. "You were amazing during that letter thing. Face with tears of joy, was it really for you?" She replied in less than a minute. "Of course, he's obsessed with me. LOL. Did he actually say that? Not in words. But you should have seen the way he looked at me. Always drawing, always watching. Creepy TBH. Lies. Straight-faced, deliberate lies." And then the next message came. Anyway, I just helped a friend out. She got what she wanted. My heart stopped. A friend? Who? Can't say, but let's just say Zoya won't be playing Saint anymore. My hands trembled. She admitted it. She knew the letter wasn't for her. She did it on purpose. And worse, Zoya wasn't the only one involved. I stared at the screen, trying to make sense of it. What did she mean, Zoya won't be playing Saint anymore? Was this revenge? And then it hit me. This wasn't just about me. Someone wanted Zoya to hurt. Badly. Someone who had something to gain from her silence, from her disappearance. I opened Zoya's profile. Still no updates. But one tagged post caught my eye. It was from a week ago. A group photo at the library. Zoya, me, a few classmates, and standing just a little too close to Zoya, with her hand resting on Zoya's chair, Maya's cousin, Alina. She'd transferred last semester. Always polite. Quiet. And always near Zoya. I remembered now how she used to glance at me when she thought I wasn't looking. How Zoya used to defend her when people made fun of her for being clingy. My stomach churned. Was she the friend? Was this some twisted plan to break Zoya from the inside? And if so, what had Zoya been keeping from me all along? Saturday afternoon, I stood outside Zoya's gate again. This time, I didn't leave the letter. I rang the bell. No answer. I rang again. After the third ring, the curtain upstairs shifted. Then, the door creaked open just a crack. Zoya's face appeared, pale and distant. "Ayan," she whispered. My heart ached seeing her like that. Eyes red. Voice hollow. She looked like a ghost of the girl I knew. "Please," I said, stepping forward. "I need to talk to you." She hesitated for a long second, then opened the door wider. We sat in silence in her drawing room, the fan creaking above us like it carried all the words we couldn't say. I finally broke it. "You think the letter was for Maya, don't you?" Her lips parted slightly. "Wasn't it?" "No," I said firmly. "It was for you, every word, every line, the drawings, the poems, all of it." She blinked, processing. I leaned forward. "You vanished. Everyone thought you were sick. But Zoya, something else is going on, isn't it?" Her eyes welled up. She clutched the sleeves of her cardigan, like she was holding herself together. "You don't know what you've walked into. I think I do." I pulled out my phone and showed her the messages from my Athapart, where she said, "Just helped a friend out." Zoya's lips trembled as she read them. "Who's the friend, Zoya?" She looked down, ashamed. I pressed again, gentler this time. "Is it Alina?" She flinched. Silence confirmed what words didn't. "She was never just your friend, was she?" I asked softly. Zoya nodded slowly, barely managing to speak. She liked me, more than I realized. I thought it was just admiration at first. Then it got strange, possessive. I remembered the way Alina always hovered. The way she watched anyone who got too close. Zoya continued, her voice cracking. "I tried to create distance. She didn't take it well. Then she saw the sketchbook your drawings of me." Her eyes met mine, full of guilt. "I think she gave it to Maya." My stomach twisted. She hadn't just betrayed Zoya. She had weaponized my love. "All this was to punish you?" I whispered. She nodded. "To humiliate me, to isolate me from everyone, especially you." Tears slipped down her cheeks, and it worked. I reached across the table and gently held her hand. "No, it didn't. I'm still here." "But why?" she asked, voice broken. "I didn't stop them. I froze. I didn't even defend you when Maya mocked you in front of the whole school." Her pain was real. Raw. I squeezed her hand. "Because I know the truth now. And because I know what it's like to have something beautiful turned into something cruel." She looked at me like no one had looked at me in weeks. Like she saw me again. "Zoya," I said, "we can't let them win." And that's when she told me the worst part. They didn't just want to ruin us. They recorded Maya reading that letter, sent it anonymously to my parents, said I was dating secretly, that I was corrupting people. I stared in shock. My dad, he hasn't spoken to me since. Everything inside me boiled. This wasn't high school drama. This was targeted destruction. But I also knew we weren't powerless. We had the truth. And now, we had each other. By Monday morning, Zoya and I had a plan. We weren't going to scream or beg. We were going to expose. And we'd do it on the stage they chose to humiliate me, our school's morning assembly. Zoya had kept screenshots, messages from Alina, the blurred clip Maya sent to her parents, and I had the chat logs from the fake profile Maya admitting everything. With the help of Arav from the IT club who owed me after I helped him pass math, we transferred everything into a tight 2-minute presentation. Faces blurred, voices distorted, but facts undeniable. That morning I stood at the back of the assembly hall, silent. The principal was wrapping up announcements when Zoya stepped forward from the student body, holding a flash drive. "Ma'am," she said calmly, "I request permission to share something important. It concerns harassment, bullying, and emotional abuse happening in our school. All eyes turned to her. Some laughed nervously. Some whispered, but the principal nodded. The lights dimmed, and then the screen lit up. Alina's messages. Maya's mockery. The audio of a girl whispering, "She deserves to lose everything." No names. No direct accusations. But everyone knew. The crowd was dead silent. By the time the screen went black again, no one dared to laugh. Zoya stepped back, spine straight, eyes locked ahead. "This is not just about me or Ion," she said, voice clear. "This is about how easy it is to destroy someone with Lazand, how hard it is to rebuild what they take from you." Maya didn't show up for class that day. Neither did Alina. By Friday, their parents had been called in. Rumors flew. The administration launched a formal inquiry. Cyberbullying, manipulation, conspiracy. Some of it, even the police got involved in. But none of that brought Zoya's father back to her. Not yet. One evening, I found her sitting alone outside the music room, cradling her phone like it was glass. "He still hasn't spoken?" I asked softly. She shook her head. "He reads my messages. Never replies. I'm sorry." She looked at me then, a faint smile breaking through. "Don't be. He may not believe in me right now, but I believe in myself again. Because someone else chose to believe in me first." She meant me. I reached for her hand. We didn't need to say anything more. Sometimes silence is its own kind of healing. Weeks passed. People moved on. The gossip faded. But something had changed forever. I wasn't the quiet kid sketching in corners anymore. Zoya wasn't just the school beauty everyone admired. We were something more now. Not a couple, not yet. But a team. Survivors. One day, while waiting for the bus, she handed me back the letter I had written the original. "It was beautiful," she whispered, "even if it never reached me the way you meant it to." I smiled. It did. Eventually. And just as the bus pulled up, she kissed my cheek. Quick. Soft. Real. I boarded the bus with a strange calm in my chest. Love, I realized, doesn't always come dressed in perfection. Sometimes it arrives messy, late, torn apart by other people's envy. But if it's real, it survives. And as I looked out the window, watching Zoya wave at me with a smile that no longer held pain, I knew this story didn't break us. It built us.